Sharla says, I'm helping women who have been sexually abused and victimized and empowering them by giving them the tools they need to start their own businesses. Amazing. How do I become an influencer? I want to help women around the world. Where do I start? Sharla, first of all, that's a beautiful mission for you to have, and I really just honor you for doing that. That's really special. If you haven't seen it already, check out my video on how I dealt with sexual assault. I'll link it here somewhere. And yeah, it's just a beautiful thing for you to be doing, but also I think it's a really good niche for you to be not only focusing on, helping these women, like going through it psychologically and, helping them overcome it, but also empowering them to start their own businesses. It's a really good niche. And as a side note, I think you can get a lot of grants, government grants, get a lot of funding around this topic because this is a hot topic, two hot topics that you're kind of meshing together. There are a lot of grants out there, a lot of funding out there to help women who are going through these kind of challenges, but there are also a lot of grants out there to help women start their businesses. So you might be in a really good niche demographic, or a niche rather, to get that demographic help. Okay. With that said, I would love to share with you my answer. When it comes to becoming an influencer and helping women around the world, what you're going to want to do, first of all, is decide what kind of content you want to create, right? Chances are that's going to be video. Once you've decided what that content is, maybe it's a written word, like blogs, things of that nature, you then say, okay, I will create stuff, right? Here's stuff that I will create, right? Videos, content, whatever. Once you create stuff, then you need to find out how to get human beings to your stuff, right? So the best way to consider that is this, okay? You have human beings out there in the world. The first thing you want to ask to bring these two together are, where are the people? Okay, where are they already hanging out? Are they on specific blogs? Are they on, you might say, oh, they're on the internet, they're on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, blah, blah, obviously. But where? Is it in groups inside of those places? Like, where are those people hanging out? What are they spending time on? And then you over here, you have your content, right? So now we have a sequence of a few questions that we're gonna be asking on what your content is, how you're gonna create it, how you're gonna be different, what is specific and unique, what are you offering? And then how you're going to find the human beings so that you can get them to your stuff. Okay, once you've figured out what kind of content you're gonna create, and we're focusing over here on who the people are and where they are, then you'll have a list, right? A giant list of all the different places that the people that you want to reach spend time, right? Might be, there might be some groups for people who have dealt with sexual assault. They might have Facebook groups about that. They might have blogs about that. There might be, podcasts about that. There might be radio shows about that, TV shows about that. There might be, local groups. There are so many different places these people can be. And so you want to have a long growing, ever growing list, maybe a Google Doc about all this stuff where these people spend time. Then from there, you're gonna say, what are the channels, what are the mediums on how I can get to those people to find out about my thing? One is advertising, right? You could use Google ads, YouTube ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Twitter. There's a bunch of different ways that you can run ads so that human beings that are on the internet, surfing the internet, will see your stuff, right? On YouTube, it's that little ad that you skip before you watch your video. On Facebook and Instagram, it's when you're scrolling through your feed. So advertising is one way that you can get your cool stuff to those people. Another way, in this specific instance, is there are going to be some organizations, right? You can reach directly out to organizations and say, hey, you're an organization that helps women overcome sexual assault. What I do is I help them build their own businesses. Can I come and speak if you're interested in speaking? If you're not interested in speaking, you could just say, how can I get in touch with your people? Figuring out how you want to interact, how you want to interface with your customers, with your people, whatever you're calling them, the people that you are going to help, is imperative, right? So again, I remember very specifically that you said you want to become an influencer and help lots of people on a grand scale. Or that'd be very different than if you were just trying to go out and find 5 people a year that you wanted to help, which you may want to do too. But I'm going to give you a strategy on how to reach the masses as opposed to just helping 3, 4, or 5 people, right? You have your cool content that you're going to put out there that's super helpful, super valuable, and you're going to have the people that you want to connect with and impact and make a difference. You're going to find out the places where they are, write that big giant list. Then you're going to decide the medium of how you're going to help them. Again, there are lots of different ways. You can be interviewed, you can be featured, you can do ads, you can just network with individual organizations. There are so many different things. You can even go to specific companies and talk and get paid to talk. So all these things are bringing you closer and closer from your amazing content getting to the people who need it. And then in the middle there, you're saying, how am I communicating with my customers? For me, it's text, right? If you want to get a hold of me, all you do is text me at my text messaging platform, 310-807-1998. And that is a text messaging platform where I just basically open up my phone and there's a whole app and I can look at that app and I can see everybody who's texting me, but I can also text everybody. So if I have, a few thousand people on my list, all I do is I create a message and I send out that message and it goes to a few thousand people. If I have a new video, I can send it to a few thousand people. That's my preferred method of communication. Yes, I'm also on social media, but that's the one that I like. Maybe you'll like email. Maybe you'll want to send out emails to people. Maybe you'll decide that a specific social media platform is the main one that you're going to focus on, but it's important to have that way to communicate back and forth with those people. Now there's a lot more involved in this too. I'm doing kind of like a high level thing, but we also want to consider when it comes to you connecting your stuff to those people, is there some sort of a website or sort of a thing? How are you going to capture their contact information? Are you going to have a funnel? A funnel, if you don't know, is basically a page, a website page where there's like a little bit of information, maybe a video or some text, and then a button that they can click to enter their contact information or buy something, right? Which brings me to the other piece of this too, which is how are you making your money? And I realize that that's not exactly what you asked, but it is a part of the process, right? So there are two kind of modalities, two ways that people think about this. One is you can sell something to the customer, to the end user, which would be you saying, hey, so-and-so, you've been through sexual assault, you want to build this business, I want to help you, just pay me a few $1,000s and I'll help you. The other way is that you get your funding from a third-party source, right? And then that's like what Gary Vaynerchuk does, right? Is he doesn't actually charge the end user. He actually gets funding from another source. He has a different business. And so if you have another source of income, or if you want to write grants and actually get funding so that you can, help these people for free, if you want to get, maybe even a Patreon page or something like that, a GoFundMe page where you say, hey, for every $1,000 I raise, I'm going to help 20 people, right? So there's all different kinds of strategic ways that you can get money from third parties so that you can help these women for free, which I think is a really cool way to do things. So, specifically for you, Sharla, if you would like, I would love to interview you and just connect with you on Zoom, because I think that there's a lot here and a lot that we can be discussing outside of just, me reading a really short paragraph question that you have and answering it on video. So just to recap everything, if you want to become an influencer, if you want to make things happen, you got to get really clear on the content you want to create. Is it videos? Is it text? Is it music? Is it, films? What is it, right? Is it YouTube? Is it a radio show, a podcast, a magazine, a journal, a blog? What is it? And then on the other side, just start reverse engineering. Who are your people? Where are they? What do they, spend time doing? Like, where are they on the internet? How are you going to get to those people? Is it advertising? Is it reaching out to the big companies? Is it reaching out to organizations? Is it getting interviewed on podcasts and radio shows and magazines and blogs and things of that nature? And then where are you going to direct those people to, right? Let's say you get 20,000 people, 4,000 people, 20 people that find out about your thing. Where do they go? Did they go to your website? Did they go to your social media? Where are you telling them to go? And specifically, you want to capture their contact information. So I prefer a funnel. If you go to nathen.tv, you'll see a perfect example of this. I have an online course that teaches people how to plan and fund their dream businesses. And the first page is just a thing that says, build your dream business. And then there's a name and email field, and you hit a button, and then you can basically enter your phone number. It goes into my phone book, and then we can text back and forth, give you advice. But it also Once they're done with that, it goes to another page where they get a $1 trial to join my program so that they can get money to fund their dream businesses, right? So if you check out my funnel, it's a 2-page funnel, you'll see how that works and how you might be able to implement it for yourself. And if you are selling to the end user, you can just copy how I did it. And if you're not selling to the end user, you basically get these people's contact information, you just give them free stuff. You help them for free. And kind of like I'm doing right now, right? And from there, you go look for the funding source at the top to kind of fund this whole process for you. If you're interested in talking more about that, I'd be happy to do that for you and connect you with anyone that you need for funding sources. If anyone else watching this is interested in getting funding, you can go to nathen.tv and I have a program about that. So yeah, super stoked. Hope that helps you. I'm really just grateful that you're doing this kind of work. It's very meaningful work, and I hope that this answer to your question helped.